This is the bard leveled up to level 3. Does this facilitate Fast 9 a little bit more? It doesn't really affect your gold level, right?
I think you only have to level up once to be 5 on 2-5. I think you technically like save 4 gold in your early stage too, which like technically translates to more gold. I think it's really smart to hold story weavers. The big name of the game right now is understanding where the good units are and what items they want to hold. So if you have AD items, I think Sivir is like far and away the best early game unit to play around because she just kills stuff really well. And you can play around Fortune potentially, and there's all kinds of good stuff there. Also, story weavers are high quality unit. And then if you have AP, right, like Lux is really good, Zyra is really good, Zoe, Soraka.
Yeah, so I think the
Weaver exalted.
exalted, yeah. Ari, Kiana, and Zyra. I have a Kiana arc. Do you know how it spawns the 2 exalted units they give you?
I
Because I
thought
have a Kiana. I don't know if it's like random between the Ari and then like one of the 2 costs, or is it in the order of like the list here?
I think it'll give you the ones that you don't have. Because I had it one time and I got like the exact one I didn't have. But maybe it's just random. I'm not 100% sure. I do think even if it doesn't give you the one you don't have, this augment is when it's like one cost and two costs is almost always insta take. Because you don't even need to play it on stage 2. You can miss on stage 2 and it still gives you an insane amount of money over the course of the game.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, it's
I did click it and I didn't get the one. Oh wait, no, I got both the 2 costs, so I didn't get Ari. So I rolled for Ari. That seems reasonable, right? Given that I was looking for an Ari and the gold diff is pretty large if I hit.
Yeah, I think you can also just make 10 and sack the round too. I think you definitely can roll as well. The thing is, right, like if you roll and miss your game, like you still get 5 gold, I guess, so it's not like it's a tough. Yeah, I think this probably is worth rolling to 0, thinking about it. Technically, like you probably make more gold rolling to 0 than saving your money. So yeah, I guess theoretically, I think you do. I think the weird thing is you probably don't upgrade anything here. Like I think you probably don't buy the Kiana 2 because you need to lose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess really weird spot, but I would definitely say rolling to 0 is probably the right thing to do here. Feels weird as hell, but I think you end up making like
it's
so
the
much
few
money.
times you roll on stage 2.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like you don't even need to make 10, right? You can just like, oh man, you hit infinite Kianas. I think you're smart not to make this though. I agree. I think making it 100% a mistake. Because you need to lose, and like she's not killing any more units than Kiana 1 with this front line. Oh, okay. That works too.
Oh.
I would say
I think I scouted and was pretty sure I would lose.
Okay, gotcha.
And
if
I'm like
you're pretty confident you lose anyways, then that's fine. Yeah, I guess I can see. I wouldn't. I guess just in case, right? Because like if you don't find another, I guess you have another Kiana there. If you didn't have the other Kiana in shop, I definitely wouldn't make it because then like if you see someone playing Fortune or something, you couldn't just sell the Kiana and then like open. I think the second Kiana in shop probably makes that more okay to do, but you do have to be careful of that because if you did win that fight, you lose like infinite gold, right? If there was anyone stronger.
And then I think I end up selling the Kiana 2 here and I'm just waiting gold.
That's fine. Okay. I mean, maybe
like save the lower HP.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, it's probably worth it considering you're going to be rich as hell this game. You are going to be super duper rich. I would say don't be.
I'm trying to also go
Fortune. Yeah, that's fair. Don't be afraid to just like straight up full open on stage 2 right now. You can literally just be 71, 72 HP after full opening the entire stage without killing a single unit because of how damage works right now. So it better to be safe than sorry in all these situations, especially with this augment. Don't be afraid to do it right now. Obviously, like if you can kill units, you want to, and it's definitely a piece of skill expression in the game. But it's not going to be. It's just not like stage 2. You barely save any HP by killing a unit, right? You save like 1 HP for killing a unit right now, which is not very good.
Right, that's true. This is probably too aggressive.
I would say a little bit, yeah.
Especially if I don't have a backup exalted to put in Ferrari.
Yeah, I would say some items can definitely be a little saucier. You have to definitely like frontline your Ari here. Now, see, now there's a guy with Fortune and you can't get out of your Ari. Yeah, because if you play them, your game gets a lot harder.
And I think I do play them.
Unless you lose, but I think Ari might get the job done. Yeah. And this is something a lesson I've had to learn the hard way this patch too. The EV on playing a stronger board here with how low player damage is, it just isn't worth it. It definitely feels weird to just let yourself full open, but it is, you're an extra, 5 gold, 6, or you have like extra street gold here as well. So you lose like 10 gold by winning that, probably ish. And you get 2 rounds of the street gold, right? So,
Right.
but I mean, overall, the spot's still great. This augment is so broken. You just get 5 gold.
It's so fun to play.
It is, yeah. It feels really good, and the big Nico as well is great. What are you thinking here? Out of curiosity, what are you thinking of? Just like Fast 9 stuff with the cube cone animation?
Yeah, so like
some kind of.
Quay or Veer with the Dragon Lord, or possibly get into like Silent.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to just double down on Fortune. I'm trying to lose anyway. But
Um,
ideally, a 5 cost with Golden Nico.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I think you want to be thinking definitely AD with your items for sure. Yeah, I would say like you should consider Adaptive Helm more than likely as being a frontline item here, like probably on a Recon or on like it could be like on a
Mm-hmm.
Lysandra or something, I guess, as well that CCs get frontline. I think you don't want to be worrying too much about playing around like Azir and Hui right now, more so as you want to be thinking about like the Dragon Lord with like Xayah, Kaisa, and then like Wukong, two heavenly altruist stuff. Not altruist, I
Mm-hmm.
guess, because you you're gonna be playing Xayah, probably not the Recon, but you know what I mean, right? Like something like that, maybe like Irelia. The real highest cap probably is actually Irelia, Recon, two altruist. It's like Irelia, Recon with like you get two heavenly with the Wukong and the Soraka, and then yeah, you get the whole Dragon Lord core. I think that's probably going to
Mm-hmm.
be your highest cap just because you get the most 5 costs possible. So I'd be thinking about that more than anything right now, and that will affect what you end up holding because it means that like, if you see a Riven, you probably want to hold it for a bit because like Riven's a great just like interim unit on that board. Any Dragon Lords, you want to make sure you're holding them. As far as like in this kind of spot, you have so much money. Fast 9 is relatively easy, I would say. You just want to make sure that you are like really considering what your board will be, so that if you need any of these like low cost units to keep yourself stable for a little bit, then you have them. And then the big thing with like this augment too that I think people can get kind of caught up with, I think you probably want this game because the Exalted's weird, is that you don't always want to play Exalted the whole game. Like you very
Right.
likely want to get off of it at some point.
Yeah, I think usually like once I get to 9, then get out
Yeah,
and put it in high quality and to preserve HP. Okay, so as far as these augments go, launch money doesn't make sense. I'm losing featherweights. I'm going for like high cost of basically Band of Thieves and roll the first two.
yep, yeah. I think Band of Thieves, for its worth, is probably the best augment you could see here. Besides maybe those two as well. Those two are also really good.
Exactly what we talked about.
Yeah, it's an interesting spot. I actually, so they're all really really good. I think you have to the consideration here is, and I'll preface this by saying I'd probably take Band of Thieves, even though it sounds weird. Is that so? Tiny Titans and late game specialists both do really well to get you to 9 and to like get you strong once you get to 9. But you already are getting to 9, right? You have infinite gold. You have like a bunch of HP. You have a big Nico. You don't need the HP or the gold to actually get there and hit your units. But you need items to put on your units. So like that TG is like a TG Wukong 2, a TG Udyr 2, right? A TG Rakan 2, which is like
Mhm.
insane for that kind of board. You can also kind of save some HP for a little bit if you want, but I think game specialists here in Titans are a little bit of a bait just because the exalted augment is such high quality econ, right? You get so much money from that it's not like more money is just going to mean you try to go 10 to play like a Lysandra 1, probably, right? It's not going to be like you should
Mhm.
theoretically be hitting most of your stuff here with between the Nico and the augment that you have already.
I see. I, right. So this is like the whole thing about picking 2 econ augments in a row where you can get a bunch of high quality units in, but then we just aren't able to efficiently use them because they don't have enough items.
Yeah, exactly. Like you have either so one of two things happens generally, right? Is that you have like your level 9, your board is just a sea of 2-star 5 costs, and you have like IE red buff Irelia and like a Sunfire on your Udyr, and that's it, right? Well, not literally, but you have like you're very lacking in item stuff because like 2-star 5 costs are great and all, but they're such high unit quality that if you can get items on them, those items are worth so much. Which is why I think if you know you can get to 9, Band of Thieves is maybe the best augment you can see in a spot like this, because they're like, again, Wukong, Udyr, Rakan, even Lysandra, like those units will use that TG super well. Like Set as well, right? If you end up picking like Set 2 randomly, like those units will use the item really well, and that'll make your cap so much higher. I think again, it's a tough thing that a lot of people have problems with or they struggle with in terms of how to cap out with an econ augment. An econ augment is the way to play around it really efficiently is to understand how much gold you need after you have it, or like how much you get to a board where like you use the exact amount of gold you need, right? Like you don't want to take if you go econ, and you end up level 9, 2-starring all your 5 costs, then you have an extra 100 gold. Either you're 3-starring like a 4 cost or a 5 cost, or you're losing all that value, right? That all that value is not on your board; it's in your shop. So often, why people only take 1 econ augment is because they can't find a way to efficiently spend the rest of their gold. It's totally fine to take 2 econ augment, 100%. If you're bored as a result, that's actually that March game we were talking about, the March of Progress game where I was like I rerolled like Zyra, TK, and Moo, like bunch of like 5 or 6 different 2 and 3 costs. I took double econ augment there because I knew that if I just 3-starred my entire board, it'd probably be like I'd get to use like all my money basically, and that all my money would turn into board straight as a result. Actually, the funny thing is, in this, I guess another good point is that I wasn't playing to reroll TK there at all. I was just rolling on 8, and I was playing around like Riven 2 for like 5-story Weaver, like Riven 2 and some other weird, like Riven 2 like a Garen or something, right? And I said, okay, well, I have like another 80 gold in the bank. I'm not getting to 9 anytime soon. And so I just rolled it down for upgrade for like unit quality upgrades, right? So Riven 2 turned into TK3. The Garen 2 turned into like Nautilus 2 or something. And then all of a sudden, I like had way more value in gold on my board, and that TK actually ended up winning me the game against. I ended up on like Morgana 3, and I beat like a Syndra 3 that game on 9 eventually, right? And so basically, econ augments are only as good as, and this is why they're generally harder to play, is that they're only as good as they're good based on how effectively you can spend the money. And so in this situation, you have so much money that more money doesn't do anything unless you want to go fast 10, which is almost never the right idea, right? Because it's just like you need a lot of extra money to go fast 10, and it's like less power than like would you rather a Lysandra 2 on your board, or not Lysandra 2, maybe are you rather like like a random synergy bot on your board, like a random Udyr 2, or would you rather a TG on your Wukong 2? Probably a TG on your Wukong 2, I would say personally. So
the one like possible counter argument is, given that I had Fortune, so like I think that completely makes sense if I didn't have Fortune in, but with Fortune, the Tiny Titan can convert the HP into a TG or like multiple TGs. Although there is the other Fortune card which could make it challenging to like actually get there.
yeah, I think it can definitely be. I would never take the Game Specialist. I think Tiny Titans is like high risk, high reward. If you play that guy and you have Exalted and Fortune on your board, you're going to beat them no matter what. And then the thing is, if that doesn't convert into a lot of extra value, then it'd be rough. I think it also is just how long do you want to play Fortune this game? I think that's a pretty big consideration because, even with 30 extra HP, the stage 4 damage went up quite a bit. Or I say quite a bit. It went up by 1, but so like stage 4 armor damage went up, right? And so Tiny Titans probably equates to like 2 extra rounds of HP loss. And so those 2 extra rounds of HP loss going to be worth playing Fortune. Like if let's say you roll like a 6 after this, can you really stay in it? Maybe, maybe not. And then, more than likely you'll probably get like maybe you'll probably get more than a TG's worth of value. But again, it's like, you could also get absolutely nothing from it. I think Tiny Titans, if you want to like play super hard for the first, is not a bad idea. But I think you can already play for first really hard with just the Band of Thieves.
Yeah, okay. I think I find myself in a lobby situations where I'm just always going for the Giga Nuts and like just fine. If they recognize that more. It's always the first or 8 like just baits me into it.
I mean, that's fair.
I just want to win games by a lot.
So I would say even in this spot, if you don't want to make an IE, talking about what we were talking about with item value, with like unit value, when you know you're going 9, you can actually definitely think about just like making GS to kill more units and then looking for a TG with your Crick Glove off of Carousel. So if you have like double TG here with like Band of Thieves plus like that TG, and you just have GS Cube Cone, basically like some kind of anti-heal, and then your board's going to be insane on level 9 probably. I'm gonna say that you also can't just like do open bow like for like red buff and play like IE. That works too, but there's I just basically said there's like a lot of ways to play around your items because you're going 9. Like if you're ever gonna be stuck on 8, I would say this Crick Glove never turns into TG. But because you're gonna have such insane unit quality, it's totally fine if you want to say like, okay, I'm probably gonna get a TG. Oh yeah, this yeah.
I was basically thinking there's no way I'm gonna lose to this guy, so I might as well preserve health against the other guys. That's why I upgraded the song.
Yeah, that's fair. And you actually do lose a pip priority from the Tiny Titans as well, which isn't like the end of the world, but it definitely hurts a little bit.
Yeah, especially for those 5 costs that those stage 4 carousel. The other thing is, I don't know if you've come across this. If you have your bench full of units and you lose, then you don't actually get the exalted core thing.
I think it just gives you 5 gold at that point. Yeah.
Oh, it does.
I'm pretty sure
Okay.
I had a very similar situation happen in one of the games I played of this recently, and I'm almost positive, if I remember correctly, that it just gave me 5 gold. So you shouldn't lose anything from it.
That's
Thankfully.
good to know. 'Cause
That'd be so sad. Yeah, yeah. So at this point, I'm not sure what your fortune cash out was. That definitely affects everybody. Your fortune roll was definitely okay. Gotcha. It was a 2. Because if you get a 6, you are now stuck in this for a very long time. Basically, you just
yeah,
kind of have to cash out, right? Which means that like you're not getting a ton of value. You're getting more gold than you already have, like infinite gold.
yeah. So the TG already would have been more value.
And if you want to keep losing with the TG, you don't even need to slam it, right? You can totally just like sit on it to level 9 if you want. I mean, the nice thing is you are insanely rich still. This augment is opinion. Just you're 50 gold, like an upgraded board on 3-7 on level 8.
It's like my favorite augment right now.
It's so yeah, it's so good. It's so good. I think the last time I played this, I won the game with it, and I didn't get exalted in until like 3-2. Nice. Yeah, so I think in these spots, you always want to consider, what do you need for any board to succeed on 9? Like, what are the fundamental things you need to succeed, right? Which I think the 2 you always see are some kind of shred, and it shreds less thunder, depending on what kind of damage you're doing, and an anti-heal, right? So I think red buff there is fantastic to get. You can go like GA here, potentially, if you want. Not that you need to right now. I would say you want to keep all your items together, though. Like, that red buff should definitely be on your Tristana, because 1,
Right.
it's better with the IE in the first place, but 2, you want to make sure that you're very open to having you want very open to like playing or whatever you have. So if you hit that Zaya 2 and if you hit Zaya 2 here and you hit Recon 2 or you hit Irelia 2, you don't want to like Zaya wants the red buff more than Recon does, but Irelia wants the red buff even more. And you want to play both those upgraded units, but you can't now easily because you have the red buff on the Zaya. It makes it like less optimal. And so it's much better to just item hold the Tristana, even if it didn't have the IE already. But the IE, you definitely want to just get that multiplicative value from them combining.
Right. For these, basically thinking since I'm going past 9 and I'm playing around, hopefully hitting legendary 2 stars to Precious Forge would be really good.
Yep. Yeah, I think all 3 of these are actually insane. Freeze Force sometimes like I guess now it's better because it got like the crit and the HP and like there are probably better items for to roll. I think this item was the biggest item in the game for a while, but now it's probably like I mean again, I think you're right on the dot with the fact that you're basically just looking for ways to enhance to kind of like multiply off of how high quality your units are, right? So support cash, giving a bunch of stats to things that are very good is totally good. You have my bow, you give attack speed to a board full of 5 costs is very good. Preacher's Forge, you give 2 Orn items and some good stats to a 5 cost, very good. So all of them are great. And you
Okay.
get to see the cool Orn artifacts, so I mean you kind of have to take it.
Yeah. Okay. I think right now I'm just thinking go 9 on 4-5.
Yep, yeah, I think 4-5 is a great time to go 9 here. I mean, how much gold you have, you should be able to hit. Pretty sure. What does that item do? Oh, is it Ludens? Yeah, double Ludens. That's the one that is overkill.
I
I think
still
it's
don't
like
recognize all of them.
I think it's the overkill one. So if you kill, yeah, the overkill damage is like spread out as an AOE. It's the one where like there was a clip. I don't know if you saw that clip of Caitlyn 3 with Luden,
Oh, the
like one
yeah.
shotting an entire board. But yeah, I think the big thing, right, is that you didn't have to commit to the Thaya yet because Irelia is another great out, and you want to be able to play around Recon potentially as well. And again, like I think the big thing too is that the Irelia is actually the higher cap for sure because you just get to play more 5 costs like that. And like Recon is just Recon versus Zaya. Like Recon plus Irelia is better than like Zaya plus no Irelia.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think your spot's still fantastic though, either way. Alrighty.
Here comes the big roll down.
It is time. It's totally worth it as well, I think, to just kind of clear bench, clear mind here as well. Like you even like Teemos and stuff, like you can probably sell right because you sell them now is you could have sold them last turn. Because like you're never playing Teemo on the board at the end of the year. Like you'd always get you either have Sivir or you have whatchamacallit. You probably don't want a Nico yet, I think is the other big thing here. Because like Udyr 2 is good, but you're probably not losing any of your fights anyways, so just off Zaya 2. And that Nico is really, really good for making sure you actually hit your highest cap possible, because now it is a little bit harder to hit the whole board you need.
I like forgot what it did with these. Dibbler spawns should be pretty good on Looter, right?
I think if you
Oh, Wits End.
Wits End? Yeah, I think Wits End is really good on the Tiger Stance stuff, I think.
I'm not sure, right?
Yeah,
I don't remember what
like,
club them
or I think Wits End does like 100 damage every single time you auto attack. if I'm not mistaken. So it probably wouldn't even be that bad on Zaya, technically. I don't know what the Imperial Scepter does, but it sounds like it's something that would be good on Udyr. I mean, I'm going to look it up, actually.
Yeah.
How about that?
Hover over each one. Okay, yeah. I did hover over it.
Oh, okay. Wait, let's see. Oh, wait, okay. Attacks deal additional 50% physical damage as physical attack damage as physical damage and heal the holder for that damage dealt. The holder cannot cast her ability or gain mana. Oh. And it gives 50 attack speed. Oh, I think that's pretty
Great, right?
I think it might be good on like Irelia. I don't think it'd be good on Zaya wants to cast, right? With trick shot in, I imagine. I can see you putting it on Zaya and just not. You could like put it on Zaya and then just not put trick shot in, I guess, and just use the slot for another 5 cost and just say like you have infinite AD plus infinite attack speed, and then she just gets to auto everything to death. I'm not sure how good that would be. I feel like she probably wants to ult. I imagine it's good on Irelia though. Probably. Maybe it's good on like. What is it good on? Holder cannot cast her ability or gain mana. I don't know. I can see with it
took some time to get it.
Yeah. Does he have so much attack speed? Prowler's Claw.
Take whip.
Yeah,
She missed the holder for 35%.
Yeah, that seems good on Udyr for sure. So I'd say the biggest thing with your level 9 roll down that went wrong was just that I think you panicked really hard with the Nico on Udyr. I think it's going to make you cap out quite a bit lower. So and this is, I guess, the other thing, right, is that we talk about the items on Zaya. Like, you want to play Irelia on this board, probably, because she just is a really good unit to play. But now you're stuck with, like, Zaya plus Irelia instead of Econ plus Irelia. I bet Udyr kind of did some work. What a beast.
So I should probably be getting out of Exalted, right? Although I guess...
I don't know, what are the Exalted units?
Or Hui and Kiana. I guess it's really just Kiana representing me.
Oh, Orin playing Kiana. Oh, okay. I will say, if you see that Exalted, you should almost always be thinking Irelia immediately, because that's like the easiest play Irelia on. And then like you still get the return, you also get the bonus damage amp, which just makes the game like way easier, right? So yeah, I would say maybe the biggest thing so far has just been that you want to play Zaya more than Irelia. Now that you hit Zaya 2, right? That could just be a Recon with Irelia 1, and the board would still be probably like just as good, but you have like a lot more room to grow. Oh, the Wit's End Udyr? What are you fighting, right? Is that Yorick? Oh, it was Yorick.
That's Yorick. Midnight Siphon Yorick. Although it was getting really frustrated because the Orn wasn't eating the Udyr the item. Oh, if it had a third item, I would have won.
Yeah. Yeah, Orn?
Stay it probably have.
Oh, probably, yeah. Orange is not like giving items to the things that matter. Really sad.
And that Udyr keeps on jumping away.
See, I think this is the kind of situation you're talking about too, where like you didn't really. I think you probably do want to roll down there more than you want to level up. But even then, like you had a lot of gold that you didn't really need. Like if you had the Tiny Titans let you sack for longer, but now like if you had like TG on, let's say you instead of playing Hui or that Irelia, you had like Lysandra in or like. Again, Wukong, but I guess he has PG anyways, but...
Yeah, I was like, how did I die so early in the... I was like very surprised they got it.
Not 8th, we take those. I think it really was. I think it's that like fast 10 is almost always worse than upgrading your board in general. I think they're that's a big thing, right? Maybe the biggest one, right, is that you want to make sure you know what like the most capped board you can play for is in a spot like that when you are just playing for the win out super hard immediately. So again, like understanding that one with your Exalted, but two just with like how 5 cost flex stuff works, playing around Irelia carry with like with Recon and all this stuff is really good. So you don't want to itemize the Zaya ever, so you can do that is important. Two, I think like the Blacksmith Gloves on a 2-star 5 cost, which again you'll probably always hit with that Nico is really important. Not Nicoing the Udyr is pretty important because you weren't if you go 1 life there, it's fine because you still win out anyways, right? Hopefully, but you probably win out. Like you're playing for the win out anyways, so saving. The potential HP save isn't that worth it, and it doesn't affect your board strength like a ton. It does certainly affect your board strength, but it's not like super game changing. Yeah, I think those are probably the big things. It's like they're like little things that build up, right?
I mean, you still put the items on the Zaya after you hit the Zaya 2, right?
So I think ideally you go deeper here. Like if I hit, you like want to be looking for an Irelia. You probably want to keep yourself in like Tristana while again playing around Recon instead of the Zaya. And then you have instead of having Zaya 2, you have Recon 2, and then you have like the Orn item on instead of the either Blacksmith Gloves or the Orn item are on Recon 2, and then you just have like a Tristana 2 in your back line, which at the end of stage 4 is going to be enough. And again, if you get like Aurelia 1, you're fine. And then the big reason why you don't want a Nico either, right, is that like the Aurelia is not super worthwhile. Once you go 1 life, you also probably technically want to stop playing Hui because he's not doing a lot on this board. Like Lissandra 1 is way better here. Basically, I think you need to roll down a 9 instead of go 10, right? Because you end up going 10 from this spot. But if you roll down again, you have Udyr 2, Xayah 2, Irelia 2, Wukong 2, Hui 2 if you wanted, it's your 2 if you wanted, probably Lissandra 2. Like you just hit all your 2-star 4 or 5 costs.
Yeah, okay. Basically, start of stage 5 here. Like,
yeah, if you just roll here,
rolling down,
right, you just hit everything. Because you still have like a Sivir 1 on your board that can be Kaisa 2. You have like Kiana 2 on your board that can be like Lee 2 if you want it to be Duelist still. Or it can just be like, again, like some kind of 2-star 5 cost. Basically, like for this spot, you never want to go 10 because your board just has too much to upgrade. I think part of the reason why you upgraded into going 10 here too is because you used that Nico there. And so now you don't have any.
I thought I was stable
or anything. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I really only have two-star like units with items on them, and they're not even fully itemized. So
yeah, okay. Right. Like you have Tiny Titans can be seen as an Econ augment here for sure. So you basically have 2 Econ augments, but all your gold goes into leveling up for like a 1-star unit, right? So like 80 gold instead of turning into a bunch of 2-star 5 costs turns into a 1-star unit. They get a Fawn. You're playing like Fawn Lissandra, which again just ends up being like not good value for the gold you're spending. Which again is why like you almost always see someone who fast 10s just die because that means they took Econ augment, and then that 80 gold that they the extra 80 gold, instead of going towards upgrading the board and making a higher quality board, it ends up, being a little bit awkward. Because at the end of the day, like your board has some technically good units on it, but like it's Sivir 1, it's Hui 1 with no items, Aurelia 1 with no items. This is also why Blacksmith loves it so, or Blacksmith loves it also like TG so good, right? Because like instead of having a bunch of no item guys, you get some item guys, and let's say Tiny Titans made you an extra like. You are 35 HP, right? But like you could have just rolled earlier, and so let's say Tiny Titans saved you like an extra 20 gold, 30 gold. You don't need that here. Not really with the Nico.
Okay. I think part of it is I also like in these situations am not sure. And I guess part of it is I think in these situations I tend to just greed and go 10 and die. But if it feels bad to like think like, okay, I have 10% odds on 5 cost and I can roll 60 gold and like, I mean, I should hit this Ornn too, but like it feels like there's a non-trivial chance that the Ornn 2 is all I get, and I like end up with a bunch of. I guess the nice thing is I have the way for then maybe I'll at least have a bunch of 5 cost pairs, but it would feel really bad if I roll this gold and I just have an Ornn 2 and nothing else.
So even if you don't want to, let's say you don't hit any 5 costs, but you can still hit Kaisa 2 over Sivir. You can hit something 2 over Aurelia, right? Like anything 2, whether it be a 4 cost or if I can be like a Nautilus 2 for CC, it can be like a Galio 2 frontline, it can be an Annie 2, it can just be again a 2-star 5 cost. The big thing is again that why you shouldn't have used the Nico, because the Nico pairs guarantees that you 2-star at least 1 more 5 cost, but you'll hit something. And the big thing is that in this spot, like you can play around every single 5 cost. Set 2 is also fantastic here for CC, right? You can play around every 5 cost in the game. So there's not like you will hit a 2-star version of some 5 cost almost certainly for in the roll down, no matter it might not be the exact one you want, but you can find a way to play it and make your board stronger as a result. And then like even just Ornn 2 is going to make your board a lot stronger. But like I think it is important to make sure you're spending money in spots like this, because if you go 9, your odds go up by, I think, is it 15% odds at 9 for 5 costs, or is it like 20%? I forget. We can see it at 10. 25. Because 10 gold at 25% odds is still less chance to see 2-star 5 costs than 70 gold at 15% odds. As bad as it feels, right?
And then basically both these rounds
don't be afraid to stabilize around 4 costs in this spot too, because let's say you hit that. This is something I did a lot today. If I was playing AD to 9, I wanted to play on Xayah or Aurelia, if I hit Kaisa 2, I just put items on Kaisa instead, and it'd be totally fine, right? You play Xayah as the synergy bot thing because it's still a strong board, and you just need items of something upgraded, and the unit quality, like Kaisa 2 over Sivir 1 is a significant upgrade. It is like a very significant upgrade, even if it has no items in the situation.
Okay, yeah. I think there's been another. We've probably gone fast 9 I think the last time we talked about it back then, I did the exact same thing and I went 10. It's a very clear like pattern and lead.
Yeah, I think the big thing.
So basically, you shouldn't go 10 until your like whole board is up.
Yes, you should very, very, very upgraded before you go 10 ever. Or you have like 70 HP here and you go 10. That's fine too. But yeah, don't go 10 in a spot where you are gonna just roll one. Like just playing Lysandra here, your board's not very good, right? The big thing is that I think the big takeaway from the session is, I keep saying it, but again, it's important to, I think, drill it in. But is that Econ augments are only as good as like the gold equates to board strength for that game. So in this game, you're spending 80, like basically you're like, that 80 gold is your entire augment, right? That 80 gold is like your entire, all the gold you've made from exalted augment in this game, and it's all going to level up and play like a Riven 1 or like a Lysandra 1 or an Azir 1. I think it's Azir and you end up playing here, right? Which is not worth it compared to that 80 gold can instead be like a bunch of 2-star 5 costs.
Okay. What do you think is the average case? Like, I roll down this 76 gold. Like, you think I'm ending up with, like, I think the odds of Orange 2 should be pretty high. And I think out the lobby, like, unless, a bunch of other people are holding Orange, but it doesn't seem that common given, the meta around like bruisers and like porcelain. But like, you think higher than 50% chance I should hit and reef one other 2-star 5 cops?
I imagine. I think the thing is, in this spot like this, which is so nice, and like again, TG is so good, it was being the other big critical mistake this game, is that you can play any 5 costs you want on this board, right? Like Azir 2 is good. I think like you can move like Q-Cone off of Ornn and put it on Azir and play Azir 2. You can play around Set. You can play around other 5 costs that I forget the names of. But I don't think there's any 5 costs here that you can't play around. And again, the other big thing is that it's not just 5 costs. 4 costs upgrade this board as well, right? I think part of the problem as well, and I think this is one of the lesser. This is one of the things with the Fast 9. Like you'll see like sets go Fast 9, and it looks seamless, right? It looks very easy. You just kind of put the board together, and if it naturally. The way I think you set up item-wise this game, and like again by itemizing that Xayah, it was gonna be very hard to make an easy to play level 9 board because you need that trick shot in there for Xayah. You then no longer have Rakan as a frontline option, so you're gonna be lacking frontline almost no matter what. And then like it becomes really awkward to fit all your synergies now, right? And so one of the most important parts about fast 9 is making sure you're setting yourself up in a way where you can really like kind of seamlessly play around, like a good win condition. Like this situation, you have a lot of unit quality, but you only have 2 items on your Xayah, which is fine. You're not going to only have 2 items on your Relia too, but you don't have any front line for her, right? So like you have unit quality technically, but like the board, it's just not enough unit quality to make up for like the board's lack of win condition. And so you want to make sure that your board is set up in a way. This is generally when a situation, I guess, where like Rakan and Xayah are the same unit, which is a weird situation, I guess, and as far as TFT situations go. But like Rakan it's really important to make sure that you're playing around Rakan in spots like this instead of Xayah, because Irelia is like a much more seamless backliner to play, requires less investment, and the investment that she does require, like if you want to play 2 duelists, you don't even have to, but if you do, Lee Sin 2 is Dragon Lord and a great unit in terms of unit quality, is CC as well, and then Kiana 2 is Heavenly, whereas Sivir 2, or the shot is Sivir or Kaisa, which Kaisa is fine, but it's so much harder to play around frontline with that, right? Because then if your board wants to be all unit quality, that means you're playing around like Phyllis and Galio and Nautilus here instead, which is fine. You can do that in the situation. And Ornn, right? Those are definitely 4 units you can play around, but it's much better in this spot like this. You'll say like, okay, I'm playing around Rakan 2, and I'm playing my front line is like Ornn 2, Rakan 2, Udyr 2, Wukong 2. Right? Like that's a great front line. And the thing is, you already hit 2 2-star 5 costs. It's just that one of them is in your back line when you just need front line.
Yeah. So even here, if I just had like the golden remover or whatever it's called, like it would actually be more optimal to put the orange tank items on Rakan and then move the red buff and IE over to Relia.
Yep. 100%. And then you get to drop the Sivir is the big thing, right? So you get a Fawn. I mean, that level, yeah, you went level 10 for a...
Yeah, that level 10.
Your Sivir is just a Fawn.
Yeah, good point. Okay.
And you can like buy this Diana as well. And like if you wanted to level up, if you thought you were stable on Relia 1, could just level up and play like Diana, and then you get a lot stronger, and like you just kind of go from there, right? And it becomes very seamless.
Okay. So really, like I think the big idea, especially with AD fast, I think like fast 9 with AP, I feel pretty comfortable with, but AD you really want to play around Aurelia unless still around.
Ideally, yeah. I think you play around Xayah if in games you have to like stop off on 8. and then like you play around like Kaisa, and then you eventually get Zaya too, and then maybe you move items to Zaya eventually. But Rakan is just such a valuable unit to be able to have in your front line on these big fast 9 games where you have like infinite gold at 9. That Irelia should almost always be like, it should either be playing around like Irelia or like either making like tank items or like bruisery items for Wukong, playing around Irelia or playing around like Ashe or Kaisa. I think you almost never play around Zaya in particular because again, like that flex spot is so much better used as Rakan.
Okay, makes sense.
And two
Yeah,
altruists.
and
I guess the big thing too, right? If you did make if you had a golden mover, you get 2 altruists from the Soraka. All of a sudden, you get a
oh
free
yeah,
fawn as well. Your board gets way tankier, and it's just it ends up being like quite a better board.
yeah, and that all goes back to me slamming the red buff on Zaya instead of on the Tristana earlier.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. And then if you have like
Okay.
PG on like any 2-star frontliner, whether it be 4 cost or 5 cost, you're also gonna have an extra bunch of frontline from that, and so the board becomes like just really really nice and stable.
Yeah. So this definitely seemed like it could have been a first if I had played first boss more correctly.
Yeah, I think if you have more of a plan laid out and you recognize just how much gold you actually are getting this game and how to spend it well, maybe like really well, then I think the game could 100% be a first. 100, yeah, you could very easily be like every 2-star 5 cost in the game this game. I think because you stabilize off a few of them, right, and then you just start getting more and more and more, and then
Yeah.
I guess not that
Especially with
you could
20.
go like a 3-star 5 cost this game, but like this is the kind of game where like the potential's there technically, right? Not that it's like
Mhm.
a super super high roll game, but you have so much money where like I'm not going to say it's a low roll game either. It's like an upper mid roll game, I would say, right? Where it's like, yeah, things went pretty well. The roll down, you could hit more 5 costs at 9 immediately, but you also didn't spend gold at 9, so you both, we won't really know.
Okay, cool. Hopefully we won't have another one of these videos where I go 10 again.
We'll drill it in again.
Maybe next time he comes over, I actually get the lesson. Funny because I mention this to my son a lot. It's like, if you're making the same mistake over and over, it means you're not learning. Like, clearly I'm not learning this lesson so far.
Just take a screenshot of the 6th place and just put it above the computer, and then fire reminder.
Yeah, there you go.